Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Literature with NL. I am Dr. M. Naglakshmi. This is my third video of Dryden's An Essay of Dramatic Poesy. I have uploaded two videos. First video, I have given an introduction about John Dryden and the essay. In the second video, I have talked about Critus and Eugenius' points of view. This is the third video. Let's begin with Lisideius. Lisideius speaks in favor of French playwrights and attacks the English tendency to mix genres. So here Lisideius favors French playwrights and attacks English playwrights. Lisideius agrees with Eugenius that the English had their Johnson, Bowman and Fletcher, but English drama has decayed and declined since then. So, in one way, Lisideius agrees with Eugenius because Eugenius favors modern playwrights. So Lisideius agrees, right? The English had their Johnson, Bowman and Fletcher, but English drama has decayed and declined since then. So after Johnson, Bowman and Fletcher, the English drama declined, right? Because they live in an age of restoration, that is an awful age. The drama has full of bloodshed and violence, and poetry is an art of peace. So in that present age, the age of restoration, drama flourishes in France but not in England. So according to Lisideius, in age of restoration, the drama flourishes in France, not in England, right? He favors French playwrights. He attacks English playwrights, playwrights of restoration age. And also he says the French follow the ancients. They favor the unity of time. They observe it so carefully, alright? As far as the unities, again he talks about unity of time and he says only the French people follow unity of time so carefully, not the English playwrights. The attention of the English playwrights is constantly diverted from one action to the other and has its due effects. So, according to Lisideius, the English playwrights, they don't have, consistent attention. Their attention is constantly diverted from one thing to another, from one action to another. Because of these diversion, the diversion has its effects, right? This fault, according to Lisideius, this is a fault. This fault of double action gives rise to another fault till the end. Because of this diversion from one action to another, it gives its effects, right? This is a fault according to Lisideius. So it gives another fault. So it continues till the end. So Lisideius concludes, no drama in the world is as absurd as the English tragic comedy. So he did not accept the concept of tragic comedy because he is against the mixture of genre. Who? Lisideius, right? So Lisideius favors French playwrights and attacks English playwrights. He accepts English playwrights in the previous age, right? In that way, he agrees with Eugenius. He agrees Johnson, Bowman and Fletcher. And also he says, with them, the English drama declined. So, he concludes, no drama in the world is as absurd as the English tragic comedy, right? And then Lisideius talks about plots. The plots of the French tragedies are based on well-known stories with reference to the theory and practice of the ancients. The French do not burden the play with a fat plot They represent a story which will be one complete action and everything which is unnecessary or carefully excluded. So, what did he say? The French plots are very simple, known stories, well-known stories. So, the audience can follow the story. It has one complete action and whatever unnecessary they feel, right? The playwrights, whatever they feel unnecessary, they carefully excluded all those things so that the audience can follow the plot. The English devote attention to one single character and the others are merely introduced to set off that principal character. Lisideius does not support this practice, right? So, the English devote attention to one single character and the other characters are merely introduced to set off that principal characters. It means only one character, all the other characters are considered supporting characters as far as English drama is considered, right? The French narrations are better managed and more skillful than of the English. French avoid the representation of violence and murder on the stage. So, the French plays do not have violence on the stage, whereas the English plays has, right? The major imperfection of English plays is the representation of death on the stage. Death should be better narrated or described rather than represented. According to Lisideius, okay, death should not be represented on the stage, should be narrated or described. Cruel actions which are likely to cause hatred or disbelief by their impossibility must be avoided or merely narrated. French followed the same and the English detailed these on stage. So, Lisideius did not accept the representation of death on the stage, right? So, these are the views of Lisideius. Lisideius favors French playwrights. Lisideius attacks modern playwrights, English playwrights. Lisideius says the French plot are simple and have one complete action, whereas the English plots devote attention to one single character and all the other characters are considered as supporting characters, right? And also, Lisideius did not accept the representation of death or whatever the negative things on the stage. All those things should be narrated or described rather than portrayed on the stage. So, now move on to Neander. Neander favors moderns and respects the ancients. Neander is Dryden, right? Neander means new man. Neander favors moderns and respects the ancients. So, like Eugenius, Neander supports moderns and respects ancients. Neander favors the moderns, respects the ancients, critical to rigid rules of dramas, and favors rhyme if it is in proper place, like in grand subject matter. So, Neander, a spokesperson of Dryden, argues that tragic comedy is the best form for a play because it is closer to life, in which emotions are heightened by myth and sadness. He also finds subplots as an integral part to enrich a play. He finds the French drama with its single action. Right? With its single action in French drama, inadequate, narrowing and cramping effect. What does it mean? See, according to Neander, he favors moderns and he respects ancients, and he did not, accept the rigid rules of ancient dramas, and he favors rhyme because of its grand subject matter, and he coined the new term tragicomedy, and he says this is the best form for a play. Why? Because it is closer to life. Because in our life, right, myth and sadness, happiness and sadness, all mixed. So tragic comedy is the best form for a play, according to Neander, according to Dryden. And also he favors subplots as an integral part to enrich a play. Because of the subplots, right, the audience will be entertained. Neander agrees the violation of the three unities because it leads to the variety in the English plays. When they violate the three unities, the English playwrights give variety of plays. Right? Neander suggests that English playwrights are the best at the lively imitation of nature. He even says that the newer French writers are imitating the English playwrights. So, according to Neander, the new French playwrights, they are imitating the English playwrights. Why? Because the English playwrights violate the unities of time, place, action. Because of that, they had varieties of plays. The regularity of the French plays make too much alike. So, when they see the French play monotonous, because of that, they know the story. They don't have the variety. English invention of tragicomedy by suggesting that the use of myth with tragedy provides contraries that set each other off and gives the audience relief from the heaviness of straight tragedy. So, the audience, when they see tragedy, a straight tragedy, in between, when they watch comic scenes, it gives relief, right? So, English has the element of surprise in their plots, which French do not have. He brings up the idea of the suspension of disbelief. The audience know that none of them are real. Why should they think scenes of battles or death any less real than the rest? Tragedy is a serious play representing nature exalted to its highest pitch. Rhyme, being the noblest kind of verse, is suited to it and not to comedy. So, Neander says rhyme is suitable to tragedy, not to comedy. Choice of words should be natural, in a natural order, wherever it is verse or rhyme. So, whether it is verse or rhyme, choice of words, very, very important. Rhyme is justified by its universal use among all the civilized nations of the world. Blank verse is no verse at all, it is simply poetic prose and so fit only for comedies. Rhymed verse alone, made natural, is suitable for tragedy. Rhyme adds to the pleasure of poetry, and the primary function of poetry is to give delight, and rhyme enables the poet to perform this function well. So, according to Neander, according to Dryden, blank verse is suitable for comedy and rhyme is suitable for tragedy, because rhyme adds pleasure to poetry. The primary function of poetry is to give delight. That rhyme enables the poet to perform this function well. Okay, I think it's very clear. So, if you like, please subscribe my channel. Thank you.